Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. So in this video what we are going to do is we are going to start our new series of basics of terminal commands. So what we are going to do in this is we are going to learn our basics of Linux commands, and it will be very helpful in a lot of things like using Linux for general purpose or starting for things like DevOps and other things. So without wasting our time, let's get started. So here what you can see is, what you are seeing is some of the commands that we are going to learn today and some of the things. So before starting about Linux command, you should know about shells. So what are shells? So for that I would give a very easy example, like you have done programming, right? So where do you do programming? In a IDLE, and there are things like VS Code, like your IDLEs or something like that. If you were a school student and you have did programming in school too, so you might have used some like a Notepad++ or some other kind of things. So what are they? Well, those are the places where you write your code, right? And when we ask about which kind of code, which language you write codes, like you write in VS Code, you write something like in some kind of language. It can be something like C++, Python, Java. So in the same way, we have shells. The way in your ideally you can type codes in different language like Python, C++, or Java. We can the same way we can run commands in terminals in different kind of shells like sh, and then bash, and then zsh and fish, and there are a lot of shells. Okay, so what are these shells? So let's first start with sh. Well, sh is a very primitive type of shell in which you can execute some of the basic commands, but it lacks a lot of functionalities. Next comes bash. Well, it is the recommended shell, which is always recommended to be used whenever you are writing some kind of shell script, and it is in general used as a standard, and it is a little bit primitive than things like zsh or fish, but still it is being used as it is very fast and it works the best. Next are things like zsh or fish. Well, these are newer shells, newer type of shells where you have a little bit ease and you have a lot of features. But the thing with these kind of shells is that people are used to of bash shell, and many times the way of getting your work done in things like zsh or fish is a little bit different, so people can get confused. And basically what you can do is you can learn bash, because in general wherever you will ask for like, hey, how can I do this with a command line, so all those things will be all the commands will be assumed that you are writing in bash shell, so you should use that. So now suppose I have like I want to know what is the default shell that I use in a system. So how can I check it? Like it can be something like sh or bash or zsh or fish. So how can we know that which shell we are using by default? So for that you have a command like echo and then shell. What it is showing is /user/bin/fish. Well, what does it is? Well, it is the shell that I am using by default in my system. But suppose if I want to use bash, so what I have to do? I have to just type bash, and now I am in bash shell. And suppose you want to do something like you want to know how many kind of cells that are installed in my system. So what you can do, well, you have to basically type a small command near like cat slash etc slash cells, and here you can get the list of all the cells that are present in your system. Well, don't worry about all these things like how did I did it, what does it mean by cat or something. Just to know like this is the way how you write commands in your terminal. So let's first start with a very basic command named echo. So if I type something like echo in my system and then I type hello world, well, we can recall it. It is something like a hello world that you type or any other new programming language that you start. Like if you are going to start C++, so this might be your first code. Like you will like C out and then hello world, like things. Or in Python you will write print hello world. So this is the very basic thing in you can think of in your terminal commands too. Now let's move on to something else, ls. So suppose if you are in your terminal and you want to see how many files, which are the files that are there in my system, so you have to simply type ls and you will get a lot of things. You get all the contents that are there in your system. So this is how ls command works. But suppose if I want to do like if I want to go into some kind of folder that I have done with ls, like I'm currently in a yt folder in my which is a store in my home folder. So how would I do that? So for that you have to type cd and then capital Y capital T. Well, why did I do it? Because yt is a folder that is was present in my home folder. Well, if you don't understand, don't worry. It is something like you will get to know it more about it soon. So we have pwd. Pwd stands for present working directory. Like if I would type pwd, so it will tell me that I am in /home/ankur/yt. But and now if I do cd again and if I don't pass any argument like yt, so what it will do? It will move me back to my home folder. So I am back to my home folder, and if I now run pwd, so it will say that I am in /home/ankur and it is my home folder. And if I run the ls command again, so you can see all the things, and these are all the files that I have in my home folder. Now let's go back to yt directory that we have, that is you can see here is listed also in the lastmost place. So if I press enter and go to yt, now suppose you want to make some kind of files, so you can simply see currently what files do I have. I have something like notes and like old notes. Well, why it has a different color? Because it is a folder and this one is a file. So what is basic difference in file and folder? You already know. Like in folder there are a lot of subfolders and there are also files in it, and in files you can get contents. So if I type touch and then I type something like hello.txt, and now if you will see the contents of your folder again, that is my yt folder. So I have hello.txt. So what does touch command do? Well, it simply creates a new file for you, and I can even do something like touch and then hi and then .txt and then u.txt, and if you will press ls again, so you can see here I have got two folders at the same time. I have created two folders in a single command. I have created hi.txt and then yo.txt just using touch, and then I typed all the file names. Now suppose you want to make some kind of, not files, but you want to make some kind of folder, so you would use mkdir, which is make directory. What does directory means? Well, it simply means folders in which you store your subfolders and files. So here in Linux we used to say directories instead of folders. So keep in mind, if I say directory, so it doesn't means any very super complex thing. It is just means a folder. So if I do something like mkdir and I type something like something, then I press ls, so you can see there is a folder which is got created, and it is am I getting to know it? Because it is colored with a different color. So now let's go into this folder, and now it is a big name, and you have to like type the whole things, and you can get errors. So instead of typing cd and then the whole name, I would just type cds and then tab. I would press tab key from my laptop, and here you can see like I have got the full name of that folder. This is the feature of bash shell, that whenever you like half partially type the name of that thing, so you can just press tab and then it will get auto completed. Now if I will go into it and press ls again, so it won't say anything. Why? Because I don't have currently any kind of folder or file in this directory named something. Now if you want to see the path of this file, like what is the path of this folder, so you have to press pwd again. Here now you can see like what is the path of this directory. These are the basic things. Now let's move on to something else. So suppose if I have some kind of contents in my some kind of file, like I would just move back and then I would press ls, and then you can see like I have a file named notes where I have written all these contents. This is all written in that file named notes. So if I want to see the contents of that file, so how can I see in terminal itself? So for that we have cat command. So you have to write cat and then notes, notes, and then press enter. You will see all those things that I have written here also. So here I have written in first line hashtag shells. Here also you can see I have written first line hashtag shells, and then in second line it is written sh. Here in second line it is written sh. So that's how cat command works. And now suppose I want to delete something, like previously I created something like hello.txt, hi.txt, and then yo.txt, and then something. So how can I remove that? So you can simply type rm, and then you can type the name of those files. So I will write hello.txt. I won't write full name, I will just write he, and then I press tab. That's how type very quickly. Then I would write hi.txt and then yo.txt. So all these files will be removed just in a single command. Here I press enter, and now if I will press ls again, so all those files that were present earlier, like hello.txt, hi.txt, yo.txt, are gone. I have just these three items listed by ls. And now suppose you want to remove the directory also. So what you have to do, like I want to remove this directory name something. So how would I remove it? So for that you have to simply do something like rm, but this time if you would run like something, then it can show error. See, it says rm cannot remove something is a directory. Well, what does it mean that? That the item named something is actually a directory, that is means folder, and you can't remove simply by typing rm and then directory name. For that you have to write something extra. So I have to write rm -r and then I have to type something. Well, by that you can remove your directories too. So if I press ls again, so you can see I don't have that folder now. If suppose I want to copy any file or any folder in somewhere else, so how can I do it? For demonstrating it, first let me make something like I will make a folder again. So I will make mkdir and then something. So I have something named folder, and then what I want to do is that there is no content. So I simply want to do is I want to copy this file named notes into something directory. So for that what I have to do is I have to press cp and then I have to type the item that I want to copy. So I would type notes and then I have to type the place that is where I want to copy it. So for that I have to press something and then slash. So here if I will press enter and if I cd into something directory and do ls again, so you can see it. I have simply copied the file named nodes into my something directory. If I go back again and press ls, so here you can see it is also present there, but it was also present in directory name something. And here you can see I am using something like cd and then dot dot. Well, it is for moving back to some earlier directory. So suppose currently I am in something like pw, I am saying something like /home/_yt, and then I went to something folder which has a different path. And now if I want to jump back to something like yt, so what I would do, I would simply press cd and then dot dot. And now if you would check the path again, so I am here in a /home/_yt. Now we have to not copy it, but we have to move it. So how can we do that? So for that let's make another file named something like to move, and then here we have a file name to move, and then what I want to do is I want to move this file name to move to inside this directory something. So how would I do that? for that I have to press MV and then to, then move, and then the place where I want to move it. So here I have made it, and now if I will press LS again, so here you can see it is gone. This folder is gone from the place where I made it. So where did it go? If I go to that directory named something and then I ls again, so you can see that it has got pasted here. So that's how mv command works. And now suppose you want to do some kind of cool tricks with it. So let me give you a question. Like, if you want to make a lot of folders named something like 01, 02, 03, like things, and what you want to do is you want till something like 50, like I want to create files named 01.txt, 02.txt, 03.txt till something like 50.txt. So how would I do that? So for that we can use touch command. But don't you think like if writing something like 0 to 50 files is too long, so there is a short trick too. I would use curly brackets open and then I would type 01 and then dot dot and then 50 and then bracket close. Now if I ls, so here you can see I have a lot of files named from 01 to 50, and if I want to do something like I want to remove all of these, including things like notes and to move. So how can I do that? So for that I have to write rm, and I won't write each name of each of the files. I would just press star. Star means all. So if I press star and then if I ls again, I have nothing. And that's the magic of your Linux commands. Now suppose if I want to not only get the files named with 01, 02, 03, I want to get it with the names like 01.txt, 02.txt. So how can I do that? So for that you have to type touch 01 dot dot and then I would add something like 50 close brackets and then I would add .txt. Here if I would press ls again, so here you can see I have all the files named with .txt. Now if I would make some another kind of files like to move again and I press ls again, so I have also another file named to move. But now suppose I want to delete all the files with something like special characters, like I want to delete here all the txt files. So it has all the files that are there in my folder have .txt common. So I would use this to remove. So for that what I have to do, I have to press rm and then star .txt, which means that it will remove all the files which have extension with .txt. And if I press again ls, enter and then press ls, so you can see all the files are gone except this file. Why? Because it doesn't have extension named .txt. If you don't understand, so I can create something like touch and then I would create some kind of files in it like 01 to 10 and then with .txt extension, and also 1 to 10 with .py extension. And now if I would press ls again, so here you can see I have got two kinds of files. one with 0, 1 to 10 of .py extension and another with 0, 1 to 10 of .txt extension. And now suppose if I want to remove all the .py files, so I would press rm star .py and here I would press ls. So all the files named with .py extensions are gone. Now suppose I want to remove like even .txt, so you have already got the command, but suppose I make some changes in it and I recreate all those files. And now what I want to do, I want to remove all the files which have any kind of extension. I want to just keep this file here, so how can I do that? So for that I have to press rm star and then enter. So here you can see I have removed all of this. Now that's all for this video, but you want to learn more about this command, so how can we learn it? Well, for learning all these commands you have another command to learn it. Well, sounds joking, right? But yeah, there it is. So if I want to learn about something like ls, so I have to write man and then that command name, and here voila, what I got is a manual telling about ls and all of the options that I get. So if I go to my home directory again, so I am currently in my home directory, and if I do something like I go to man and then /ls, not like this, ls, and if I go down, if I see something, so you can see there is something like /d which says list directories themselves. So what it is going to do, let's see it, ls-d, so it is going to list its directory itself. And that's not a good example. Let's search for something else that can be a little bit better. So here you can see ls-l, which is used to do something like use a long listing format. So what does it do? So if I in general type ls, so it will give me something like the contents of my home directory, but I want to get more information about all these folders, so I can do ls-l, which will print me all the things in long format. And now you can see that I have getting some kind of information, like here you can see some dates and time of when it was last modified. So this is how you can use man. Man simply stands for manuals, not the real man. So that's how you can learn more about another kind of commands, like I can use man and man itself to learn about man, the manual, how to use manual itself, or I can type something like man then cd, so I will get a manual about cd command, and then that's all you can do with it. You can do a lot of things, and I will come with new videos about more and more commands of Linux which are going to blow off your mind. So till then, keep enjoying, and I would see you next time.